show, Detroit, who you talking to? We have our wonderful host, Felicita, your co-host, June, and our co-host, Sandy.
Hi, everybody.
So we have a good show for you all today. I was out sick last week, but I'm back. I'm glad to be back.
She's back.
Um,
Glad to have you back.
Thank you. I see last week's show was kind of live, kind of hot. Stirred up a
Special.
lot of feelings in people, a lot of emotions. But I just want everybody to know that we are here to have fun. We're here to be enlightening to each other and other people. And we're here to bring awareness to many things that are going on in the city, in the state, in the country. And we would like for you all to, call in, have fun with us, share your thoughts, share your feelings, and we just gonna chop it up tonight.
Yeah.
We may cover some issues from past shows. I think it might be some apologies that might
And
need to be made.
no
I don't know.
apologies.
I don't
No
know. I'm just
apologies.
saying.
Hold on, let me finish doing this. Go ahead and talk, Joan. I got
Watching
let me
that
just do
last
this
show,
real
I
quick.
think it upset a few
few
people. So if we
Slip
did
up.
upset you, I'm saying we because I am a part of Detroit who you talking to. If we did upset you, we apologize. We deeply apologize. And and don't count it to our hearts. So,
We're just,
you know,
just
Let me,
discussing.
yeah.
okay.
We just having some genuine, sincere discussions, right? Things happen everywhere. Things happen in everybody's family. Some people choose to talk about it. Some people choose not to talk about it. So, but we sincerely apologize if we hurt anybody's feelings. That's not the intent of the show. And we love you all, and we hope you all love us. We hope that you all continue to rock with us and follow us. Continue to follow us on Facebook, Detroit Who You Talking To. You can link up through that page. You can link up through Felicita Taylor, Felicita Exquisite Fashions, June Roney. We also have a nonprofit, Faith Community Outreach, Inc. And what we do is we assist those who are in trouble. If you're having problems with paying your utilities, if you're having problems paying your rent, if you don't have enough money to get the bus to work or get the Uber to work, that's what we are here for. We are here for the community. We just started food distributions. We do not have an exact date, but we started last week, and we'll definitely inform you of the future dates of our food distributions. Um, so, with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Felicita.
Okay. We did have some issues about the topics that we was talking about last show. Okay, my thing is that the family members who were traumatized are the ones with the issues. Like parents is not understanding. Keeping those things secret is harsh to the kids. Like you wonder why my kid is drinking, my kid is on drugs, my kid is taking pills, but they've been traumatized at a young age, and to throw it up under the rug or be like, don't talk about it, don't say nothing about it. The kids are adults now and they do want to talk about it. It was a tragic incident. I didn't give names of certain things that I do know went on, but bringing up the subject, it's a lot of people in my family I know started talking about things that I never even knew happened. So I'm just trying to bring awareness so people be more comfortable with coming and saying so and so did this to me, so and so did that to me, because it may stop or prevent somebody else getting traumatized or touched on or whatever you want to call it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. What happened. And you rather keep it secret than protect your child and now your child is an adult and they can barely deal with life. A lot of them are suicidal. They want to talk about what happened to them. Parents told them, don't talk about it, keep it quiet. Parents barely hear what the children have to say about what happened because they always been told to keep it a secret and they don't want to talk about it because it's a close family member. It could be an uncle that everybody love, but that uncle that everybody love is doing things where he should be locked up for, and everybody protect him because it's an uncle. It's somebody they love too. It could be loved ones that's doing these things because they're the closest ones to you. So we was just bringing awareness to that. So a lot of people on the cast had a lot to say about what happened to them. And I don't see why nobody is upset about it. What they're so mad. You say it's embarrassing. Embarrassing to who? Because they've been traumatized and going through this for a lifetime. And now that they are grown, a lot of people in my family, they're alcoholics, they lean, they drinking syrup, they taking pills, smoking weed because they don't want to face it. A lot of them are suicidal too.
That's how they're coping.
That's their coping mechanism, of course. They don't want to go see nobody about mental illness. They barely want to talk about it. It's hard to say, like, this guy raped me and then have to walk around with that title like another man, assaulted you or whatever, or did this and that to you. The men and the females. So it's a sad story, but it needs to be talked about because they have children, and what's going on in their children's mind? Are they doing the same thing, telling them not to talk about it? They haven't even dealt with the situation that they've been in yet. They don't have nobody to talk to. But when I mentioned it, I heard a lot of things come up about what was going on, things that happened to other family members. And it's sad because to be like you're embarrassed of what? Think about those kids and what they've been going through all their life and how they're dealing with it right now.
Yeah, a lot of times when people say they're embarrassed because like they could have been in a situation where, they could have provided help or gotten that person out of that situation. But if they didn't know, then it was nothing that they could do. So, and then too, a lot of things that happens within a family, some family members, especially the older family members, some people just don't like revealing family secrets.
But I'm trying to figure out why not. It's not like it's something good. It's tragedy
right,
to your own kids.
It is a tragedy.
And it's like you're not facing it.
And some people just don't know how to face it. They don't know how to.
It's like a curse.
It's not. I don't feel it's a curse. I feel like it's just people being ignorant to the fact and they not doing nothing about it. I don't feel like it's a curse to the family. They want to say that, but they never tried to do anything about it. Like you never did nothing about it. What do you mean a curse?
Well, they like to keep it a secret, put it that way. They don't want it to come out.
But why? Why not let it come out? Or if you do something about it, then you don't want it to come out.
And then
do something about it when they're young.
This is something else too. So like if you have, let's just say one of the older family members, let's just say if her brother was the one who was molesting children or molesting other family members, it's hard to say, my brother did that. How do I speak against my brother? I love my brother and I love my niece or my cousin, whoever the offense, was committed. I love both of them, and I don't want it to be any, tension and, some people just don't know how to deal with that.
That's true because I can't say I experienced that part also. But and I didn't know what to do. I wasn't able to talk to the person or anything to try to find out what happened. But I was able to look back, like when we were growing up, a lot of issues and everything that I remember. Like just issues that made me think about, like, I don't know if they doing this now or what's going on. Like, but the family member never came and said nothing about it. I don't know what it be, but when a family member is getting molested or touched on like that, and they older, much older, they don't come and tell, and I don't get that.
Because
they constantly keep doing it. They want to be around that person on the regular. They always hanging under that person. They always going over there, and there's no threat. And I just don't get why they continue to be under that person like that.
Because some people, they feel the connection. This is my cousin, or this is my uncle. This is somebody who I love, and I don't want to create chaos. I don't want to create confusion. You see how it all goes back to I don't want, because it goes to them blaming themselves. Well, maybe it was my fault that I caused this person to, to do this to me. A lot of times, young girls and young ladies, that's what they do. They end up blaming themselves because, well, maybe if I hadn't had those tight jeans on, he wouldn't have did that to me. Or maybe if I hadn't have had that belly shirt on, he wouldn't have looked at me that way. It just goes back to a blaming themselves.
So they just gonna keep being traumatized by the person.
Yeah, they do.
I can't understand
until
that's something I
help.
Can't wrap around, because I hear sometimes like people that homosexuals or whatever, they say that they was done like that at a younger age, so that's what they like now. And I don't get it. If it was trauma to you, why you like it now? Why are you doing that now and living that lifestyle if it was so much trauma to you?
Well, I would say for like guys, if they have never had the experience of being with a girl or female, and if that's the only experience that they have had, then that's what they begin to enjoy. That's what they start liking.
I don't know. I just can't wrap that, because I just be like, they felt like it was trauma, but this is what they like now. This is the type of lifestyle they live in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't.
Because they have grown.
I feel like it's wrong.
They have grown accustomed.
Why would they be so accustomed to
liking? To liking those feelings, those sensations that another.
Just get used to it. It's sad. Yeah. It really is. It's sad.
Yeah, they do. And I know some gay guys who have even said, I know it's wrong. They said they feel homosexuality is wrong, but it's in their mind, and that's what they're thinking, and that's what they like. They like the feeling.
I don't know if I was feeling trauma. I feel like a caller. Hi, caller.
Hi, guys. I was just, hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
So I wanted to comment on y'all when y'all was talking about you don't understand how it's echoing. I can't hear it.
It sounds
Speaker? Okay.
Okay, we're listening. Sorry.
Hello?
Yes.
Wait, let me see if it's. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
we hear you.
It's our equipment.
So I just wanted to elaborate on when y'all were saying that how could the person still have positive feelings towards their abuser or something like that? It's a condition called Stockholm syndrome. When they start feeling positive things towards that person, it's just like how mental illness, that's like a mental illness they develop. It's not that's what they used to, so they feel like it's normal, and it's been happening to them for so long, so then they just start seeing the positive in the situation. So that's how, like, you wouldn't be able to understand it because you never went through it. Like, that's like a lot of mental illness people go through certain things that we don't understand because we don't have the same mental state that they have.
Right. That's why
So,
like I can't wrap it around my mind. It just seems like it's so sad that these people feel so comfortable with it. I don't know if they just gave up and like forget it. Like, this is what it is, and I just do whatever. Everybody's still talking to this person. Everybody's still nice and friends with this person, and me complaining. But you don't know. you may not be the only person. You're not going to be the only person that person has done that to. But by everybody keeping it secret, nobody want to say nothing, you're not going to find out that you're not the only person.
But it's so many different scenarios. I get it. They keep on um not telling, but what if they don't have nobody to tell? What if it's a person that they trusted and they feel like, they could trust this person and they've hurt them all this time. And who they gonna run to? So it's different scenarios, I guess.
I guess it's different scenarios.
Sometimes that person is a good listener. So they feel that, by this person listening to their problem, that it's actually good for them, but it's not. You
talking about listening to them? Huh? Talking about they listening to...
See, they using that as a, sometimes when people listen to you.
I don't know if I'm going live with this person.
They think that it might help them, but it's not helping them. It's actually hurting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. And sometimes not everybody.
Oh, not this somebody else. This my friend that's on the live. Let me see. Go ahead, Yolanda. You got something to say?
I'm just listening right now.
Oh, you pushed to come on live. You don't have a comment.
I'm gonna hang up, y'all.
Oh, did I? Oh, okay. You don't have nothing to say about...
I'm gonna listen in a little more. Just let me listen.
Okay, well, we'll keep talking.
Okay. Sometimes, sometimes there are a lot of people who have been sexually abused who are able to overcome, that issue, that problem, that hurdle. They realize it's nothing that I did wrong.
There are some.
Yeah, it's a lot of women out here.
It's some.
And then there's a lot of women who have went through, men too, who have went through it for years, had a difficult time dealing with it their whole life. And then once they have reached a certain age, whatever that point is, they say, hey, enough is enough. It's time that I face this demon. And then they be all right after that.
I know. And I'm going to say in my family, I don't care. They get mad because it's a lot of issues that they have going on and they haven't faced any demons yet. They haven't even been able to talk about it. I just found out so many things that happened that I didn't even know about before the show the last time that we was on. And I can't believe it. But those people that were talking to me they my family, and they have issues like alcoholism. They on drugs, they on pills, and they trying to let you know a little bit of what happened, the conversation that I had with them. I don't want to push them, but I'm like, dang, what happened to you? Like, who could have done it? Like, who was around us doing that? Because I don't remember that. And for that person to say something, and now everything started falling together. Like, no wonder they drink so much. No wonder this, no wonder that. But they never said nothing about it. And I never knew that they was fighting these demons, like fighting it. And I know the person, 9 times out of 10, the person who done it was still being around us on a regular. And it's like family members knew and everything, but they didn't say nothing about it. And they kept dealing with the person like everything was okay. And I'm starting to hear conversations that I never heard before. And if my kids was to come and tell me something, I'm going to be so hurt because I used to tell them all the time, and coursing them and everything. I'm going to be hurt because that person was still being around me and they know what they did to my kids. And my kids, I'm wondering, why y'all never said nothing? I thought I made them comfortable and everything, but they never told on the person, or they never said nothing. So I mean, just from that little podcast that we did before, so many people had called me about different situations, and I can't even think about what happened or who did it.
So if we have anyone who's listening, if you
Anybody
would
want to
like to
call in a
call in
comment?
and comment, if you would like to share your experience, we don't know who's calling. Um, your picture or your name doesn't show up.
Unless you want to say your
Yeah, but if
name
you want to
or
say
put your
your name,
picture
that's fine.
on the
But
phone, you just call in
yeah,
and make a comment or
yeah, if
whatever.
you've had an experience or you had a family member who's had an experience with some childhood trauma, you
And
know,
then I just want to know too how people feel like you told your mother or you told your father and they didn't do nothing about it. But you had to live with that mother and father for the rest of your life and looking at them like, dang, I'm your child. Why you not doing nothing? Why you not saying nothing? Why I'm still going over to this house and I just told you what happened? Like, why is this man still around? And doing it to more people. But at that time, everybody didn't know what was happening to them. Like, oh, he did this person, he did that person. Everybody didn't know that. But you still kept that person around. Then you brought him around later. Like it was nothing. He's still able to come around everybody. But multiple children, cousins, brothers, whoever got molested or touched on by this person. And it was still okay for that person to come around on the regular. Well, no problem. Nothing said, nothing.
that's because it all goes back to, you know, nobody wants to kick up dust. Nobody wants to make noise. Nobody wants to, yeah. No,
And,
it sounds crazy, but
and
they might even feel embarrassed. Like,
I don't know why. That's the thing, because the parent is training them to be embarrassed and don't say nothing about it. I remember one of our family members, they actually told the mother what they was doing to her child. One of our family members stood and told mom what he was doing to her child.
and what did
And
she
he didn't
say?
have no, she was going crazy, like, but that family member had issues too. I'm not saying I don't know if that person was sexually abused or anything, but they had a lot going on also. But the family member told her exactly what he was doing and everything to her child.
And
It's like
see,
history repeats itself, and it's sad.
yeah, I was gonna say,
That's in the black community.
It's sad if nobody says nothing and keeping it a secret and not doing nothing. They just want to be with a man that bad, like he's raping your kids. And you still, who wants a man who wants to rape the kids?
and then who taught
Mom, y'all gotta call the number that's
and then who taught that person? Who did it to that person that offended,
and it's not like you could tell who unless they
who
tell you
committed
who
this
did it.
offense to their offenders. It's like
They was done.
somebody
I feel like they was done like that.
Right.
Because they was young. They was older than us, but they was young still.
And I'm gonna tell you something else. This is something that I don't believe in. You have kids, all of the kids coming over, and whether it be grandkids, cousins, nieces, nephews, and kids are left unattended. Kids, they have access to the internet, these video games, Roblox, is YouTube. It's just all kind of things that they are exposed to that they can actually visualize and see, and they get curious. So you got all these kids in this room unattended. Something that's when trouble happens,
because the parents are out enjoying themselves.
Exactly.
And they children, they experiment.
It's no supervision.
But sometimes you notice, like, it's always a grown person that's wanting to be under them kids too, and they right in the room with them kids, and the parents are not saying that, like, he always playing with the kids, this and that, this and that. Yeah, he doing more than playing with them kids. It's always a grown up that be so attracted to the kids,
and somebody should have put a stop to it.
And they don't put a stop to it. They just let it go on. I remember one time my grandbaby, they was on the internet, like, I guess you could like FaceTime or something like that. And so it was this like Caucasian guy, heavy set, wasn't really into church like that, but he used to be praying for them. And I was like, who is that? I had looked at that thing like, who is that? And they was like, Grandma, he praying for us. Like, they was going crazy. So they already had been talking to the man, and he acting like he's praying for them. I was telling their mamas, like, y'all gotta monitor that stuff. You can't just let them, because they don't know how to turn off the like they could locator and all that. The kids don't know how to turn that off. My grandkids was going crazy when I was like, I'm gonna call the police on you. Don't ever call them. You don't FaceTime. These are kids. He was like, I'm just giving them the word. They was so into it. Like, why y'all doing that? They was upset about it. Yeah, he was nice, and they was so mad, telling me like, "Grandma, what you doing?" I'm like, and when I mentioned police and all that, he ain't never called. They was so mad at me though. Like, he nice, he good. He was praying for us, and he be teaching us about the Bible. Who is this? Where did y'all meet him at? Right. So I know those experiences do exist. Like the young lady that they just found.
So sad.
Passed away. They was looking for her for all this time.
Yeah.
And these young girls out here now, they don't get it. They don't understand. You cannot trust God. Even the young guys. And young people kill
They're
people.
Too trusting. They're too trusting of these people.
They don't have the knowledge of the streets, but they will act like they do. They going with men, going with them, thinking it's okay, saying that that's their man, that's their boyfriend. And then, something happened. That guy get jealous or whatever of a child, and end up killing them.
Yep.
Like it's nothing. No remorse, no anything.
Mental illness.
And you try to talk to the kid, but they're not trying to hear nothing. It's so different. These times are like really different. You need to talk to your kids, your family members. Try to just keep. I know they don't want to hear whatever, but something might, they might pick up something.
It's important.
They might pick up something. The auntie, the mama might be saying. They might pick up something rather than finding them dead somewhere. Right. Somebody that murdered them. Give them something, to think about.
It's important to keep that communication open with your kids. You may find
if anybody want to call in to just
248-508-3460.
I don't know how to do it to my live.
The number is 248-508-3460. We would love to hear your views on this topic.
I don't want nobody getting mad about it, but it's the truth. And they got to face the truth. The truth hurt.
Yeah.
And especially if you're a parent or an auntie who put your children through that, to think about it now, like a man that you was with or dating has molested over half of your family members, and it's like you were told, but you still choose to be with that person. The person wasn't around. That was his history. That's what he do. He done like their kids, cousins,
but at what point,
other family members.
But at what point does somebody call the police? At what point does one of the older cousins or somebody else, I'm getting ready to beat you down.
The cousins that were together and family members that knew about it, they were too young. They didn't know nothing about calling the police. So as they got older, now they have their kids and other younger people being around, but the parent is still having that same guy around the family. And you know exactly what he did. You know what he did, and you know the situations, everything that happened with your kids, your nieces, your nephews, and you still have this person around.
That's sad.
It doesn't matter if it's a baby daddy
you just
or
keep
whatever.
Victimizing.
And there's no remorse. They don't think about it. It doesn't matter.
It's traumatized.
Yeah, very.
So that's why I'm saying, like, somebody got to break the cycle and say something. Even the young kids that were abused by that person when they get older, because you letting them come around and be around, and it can happen to the other little kids.
And they shouldn't. And they shouldn't
happen because that's the way that person is.
Yeah, and they shouldn't be allowed to come around.
If they're allowed to come around,
that person gonna be there, I'm not gonna be there.
But you don't know.
My kids won't be there.
Yeah. Y'all gotta call that line that's sent to the podcast.
There is not.
For the police,
no.
I know it's not for murder, but a lot of times kids hold on to it until and destroy their own life. She was 15 years old. and some guys came wherever where she ran away at. Some guys came in there and killed the guy she was running away to. She was 15 and he was 30. And if she hadn't hid up, was smart enough to hid up on a pile of clothes, she'd have died too because they killed everybody in the house with her.
They can't see you.
What?
So they can hear you.
Okay.
That's
Yes.
and see something. I don't believe there's a statute of limitation on.
It might be, but I'm not sure what it is.
I don't think it is on sexual child abuse.
I know it's not on murder, but I was wondering. You know, but it's just scary for your kids to be in this world and there's people that. My daughter was running away, and I talked to him the day before he got killed, and he was like, "I'll be taking her to school." I said, "Let me tell you something. I take her to school every day. I don't need you to take my daughter to school. I want my daughter to come home." You know, and
right.
Was that her boyfriend?
But he was 30. She was 15.
Okay, I was like that. So, but everybody keep trying to tell me you was regressing this and that. No, nothing was wrong at home. I just wanted to be with my boyfriend. He might have been. There was nothing wrong at home. No abuse, no nothing. People keep trying to tell me you was regressing. Isn't? No, he was older, but I felt I was in love with him. And I wanted to be with him, so I left home to be with him.
So do you think it was the attention? Do you think it was the attention that
it wasn't attention? I had attention. My brother
was it a particular type of attention?
It was my boyfriend, so whatever attention you want to call that. I mean, I'm saying it was somebody I was attracted to that I wanted to be with.
Like her.
I'm saying I'm telling the truth. You can't believe that abuse was going on at home. I wasn't being sexually abused. I wasn't being abused or anything. I was spoiled to death. I left because I wanted to leave and be with my boyfriend. I mean, I don't see how that's so hard to understand.
It's not hard to understand.
It wasn't. Eventually, even if I would have got older, eventually I'm going to leave the house and go be with who I want to be with. Yeah. It just happened at a younger age. Yeah. I left and I never came back home.
But you didn't think that was...
I don't think it was nothing. I was on an honor roll when I was in school. I was no problem with that. I wasn't getting abused when I was at home, sexually abused, anything. Yes. I wanted to leave and do what I wanted to do.
At 15.
That's how most young girls are at 15 when they start going through these changes. You know, these hormones.
I mean, I leave anyway. I mean, but I just feel like it was nothing that pushed me to the streets. I went because I wanted to.
But
nobody could tell me.
But do you think it's something wrong with that behavior?
I don't think it's nothing wrong. Nope.
So if your 15-year-old daughter said,
"Hey, I did it," and it was nothing wrong. So
are you say it's acceptable for a 15-year-old girl?
It's not. It may not be acceptable, but that's what I wanted to do, and nobody could tell me.
No, different. I'm saying right now.
Right now,
it's a lot of things that we have done when we were children. But when you're 15, you don't have the mental capacity to think maturely.
You don't.
And to make mature decisions.
Well, so it might not have been a mature decision, but it was what I wanted to do at the time.
It's what you wanted to do at 15.
I'm saying, I was 16, and that is what I wanted to do, and I left.
But you might have been a little more mature.
Yeah. I don't know about, I'm just saying how people try to tell me something was going on at home is the reason you left. You wanted him to be a father. No, it's not none of that. I felt like I was in love with him and I left. Like, I don't get it. I wasn't being raped, molested, or anything. I felt like I knew what it was. I stayed with him all that time. I had 3 kids, Bob. So, I mean, who really know what love means anyway?
So let me ask you, is it okay? Like I saw on...
It might not be okay I don't know. I used to look at this show with this little girl. I think she was like 13, 14, outside prostitute. Mm-hmm. Okay? People used to come try to help her and everything. She's like, no, I want to be out here. This is how I make my money. But people kept feeling sorry. They're into their own feelings. They kept feeling sorry for her, kept trying to talk to her and everything. You know, like, you shouldn't be out here, you too young. She'd been out there.
So you
and she wasn't trying to lead the streets.
Your 3 kids.
I had my 3 kids by that man, and I was okay being out and leaving the home with that man.
So I saw something on TikTok the other day, and this girl, I think she was 13 or 14, and she gave her mother this box with a pregnancy test in it, and it said positive. And her mother just put her hands up to her head and started bawling. People were saying, "Oh, she's so happy for her daughter." No, she wasn't. She knew the life that was ahead of her.
Right.
At 13, 14 years old, how can a 13, 14-year-old take care of a baby?
But they did it back in the day.
Yeah, because my mother
my
and father got married. They was young. They was
They
like
did, but
14.
but
My
as
mother
we
was like
know,
14.
times are different.
And my father
Yeah.
might have been like
But it's
So
still
times are different.
generational.
Back in the day,
18 or something. He was young. They was young.
they
was
stayed
teenagers
home
when
and they
got
took
married.
care of
They
that
still
baby.
married. See,
Now,
Right. They was
64 years.
who's
they've been
taking care
married
of the
for a
baby?
long time.
Who's taking care of the babies now? The grandparents is left
Right.
to take care of the babies.
Now it's totally different.
That's what I'm saying. It's totally different. Back then, we didn't have the influences.
Back then, the mamas was taking care of their kids.
Exactly,
See,
but now
you were a little different.
My cousins was the same way.
she wasn't different. She wasn't.
I
no
wasn't
different.
different. That was the R.
than
Kelly
any
era.
other
All the
family.
young girls.
She was different.
Right. A lot of people left
really
home.
don't.
A lot of people left home young.
Like
A lot of people left home young
cousin's
to be
wife.
with their man.
She wasn't nothing going on with her.
It was nothing going on with
She had a very nice house. She just wanted to do it. Yeah.
Right. And people keep trying to say, hello, caller. Caller.
Yeah, but
Hello, everybody.
Let's see what the caller has. Caller, are you on there?
Yeah, I was just listening about them having babies at young ages, at 13, with the pregnancy test. Okay, yeah, back in the day, times was different. But even in my generation, I had my daughter. I had her when I was 20, and I'm just looking back. Yes, and I'm just looking back.
Okay.
My baby daddy was trying to get me. My mama got pregnant at 17, 16, whatever. But my baby daddy tried to get me pregnant at 17, 16. But my daughter is 17. And if she have a baby, I would die right now.
Exactly.
I don't want her to have a baby.
Because you live and learn.
I don't want her to have this.
It's very difficult. It's difficult.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's harder.
Yeah, for you to live your life. I mean,
Yeah.
You're in school. You work.
I don't want to be a grandmama.
Exactly.
You're going to be one eventually.
And then
I know eventually. Like, give me, when I get out, when I want to be in a house, then I'll be a nanny.
Exactly.
But I still want to party.
I mean, we have dreams for our children. You know, we look forward to them doing certain things. But how do you do that when you have a baby? You got a baby on your hip.
Right, that's true.
Her own kids. Like Philistine, she's strong. My daughter is very strong. And she's 4. And she take care of her kids.
That's my kids. They take care of their kids.
She'll call me and be like, "Ma, can I get this or that?" I mostly offer it to her more than she asks me.
Exactly. That's how my kids are.
You
they
know,
take care of their kids.
Yeah.
I don't even hardly babysit for them. I don't hardly babysit. I tell them like I offer, like if they want to go to school, something like that. They do all they can. I don't have to do that.
She done went to school and got 2 degrees and she good. She could be better, in my eyesight because I'm
right. And we always gonna feel like the kids be better.
But she, where she started from running away, I'm okay about it.
That's me. I ran away. I never came back.
Yeah.
And I'm sure
I went to school while I was out. I got my high school diploma while I was out.
When she find little girls that want to run away or have run away, she be like, "Let me talk to them.
Yeah,
let me talk to that person."
And I'm not saying it was the best, but my pride. I didn't want to go back. I was out here, and I was with who I wanted to be with. I was happy with that.
I was in middle school and high school with girls who they had, I would say, comparing them to me, they had both parents in the home. My mother raised her kids.
And I had both parents.
Because my father decided to leave when he left, So, but comparing myself to them, they had both parents. They had a really nice They had nice homes, they had money,
Yeah.
and everything. And they would leave, they would get out of school, go home, eat dinner with their family, and leave with their boyfriend and be gone all night, come to school the next day, be like, what happened to you? Oh, I was with such and such, and I stayed at such and such's house all night. Your mom and them let you do that?
Do what they gonna do. They ain't gonna tell you nothing to do.
At a
When you
certain
get
point,
a
they gonna
certain
do it
point, a certain
anyway.
age, you're gonna go do what you want to
Yeah,
do.
and ain't
You can
nothing
teach
your
your
parents gonna do.
kids whatever you want to teach them. They're gonna be the person they are.
And
Yeah.
if
And
you start,
hopefully that
if you
teaching
start,
kick in.
if you start putting your hands on them and stuff when they doing it, it's gonna just get worse.
It's gonna be trauma. It's gonna be worse.
Yeah.
So
They gonna try to fight you back.
they for sure.
These kids
Yeah.
nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at one point, it got to where I think Janisa was
Okay, yeah.
okay.
Okay.
I think Janisa
Bye,
was
Funky.
17 years old. We all had just graduated from high school. She was dating this guy in his 20s.
We have another caller. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Queen.
Thanks for calling.
Can y'all hear me good?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Look, this is Verlaine.
Hey.
And I don't know how to take this conversation really because I understand all of you ladies. However, I feel like I grew up blessed. No, I wasn't rich. We got the things that we needed. We didn't necessarily get the things we wanted. However, growing up, I'm the youngest of 8, 6 girls and 2 boys. I'm so grateful and blessed. Out of all the years, my dad never did anything to us girls. Now, he did touch us, but it was our butts.
Right.
And my thing, I'm a strong believer. You see a lot more looking in than you can looking out. I see where a lot of parents, and I don't want to upset nobody, but true. We feel, I'm saying we, but I don't have kids. But parents fail when they stop being parents and start being your friend.
I agree.
My mother told us as a young kid, I am not your friend. I love all my kids, but I am not your friend. I think if these parents would just put their foot down, 16, you can't tell me I'm going over this person's house and I'm there late. My mother always said, it's not like you out twiddling your thumbs.
That's true.
So my thing is, let kids become kids again. It's like soon as they start the menstrual, they like on their own.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just, and then a lot of times I've seen parents, I'm sorry to say again, they get sick of them kids. I'm telling you what not to do. I'm leading you right, but yet you still go left.
Yeah. That's right.
The parents don't want that headache no more. So yeah, Susie say I'm going over to see John, who Susan is 16, but John is 29. I don't know. You guys, I'm just blessed. I'm thankful. When I hear stories, I come back and tell God, thank you.
Okay.
I just don't see it. If anything happened around me, and we on the air, right?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. My name is Verlaine. I ain't worried about nobody. If your kid come to me and say something, trust and believe. No, I'm not a snitch, but I will tell on you.
Thank you.
Because I don't want that. All these little girls coming up missing. And then at the end, well, I heard her tell me this. She said this. Don't tell me after the fact. If one of y'all kids came to me and said, Mr. John touched me. Oh, I'm coming. I'm going to the police first.
Right.
Because 9 out of 10, you go to the parents, they gonna beat you up.
The parents still
You
want
know,
to be with that man, so
that's just my opinion. Ladies, I love your topics, and you guys stay strong and stay blessed.
you too. Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Some parents try to be friends because that's their last option. Like the kid not listening to them anyway, and some parents figure like maybe if I, lighten up a little bit, act as a friend or whatever, I could get through to them because they already be on the edge that they finna leave and you won't see them anymore.
I can never be my kid's friend.
But some parents like that's their last leg. Like
I get that.
They done everything and tried, so this is the only connection they have with the child to keep in communication with them. Sometimes kids don't listen
I just stopped being scared of my mother until I was like 35 years old.
And some kids are not scared of their parents. They'll walk away in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Like my kids, when they was younger, my mama, she was so mad at me. I was like, I'm not going to be able to live with that fear thinking like they might get on drugs. They out here in the street. They don't got no way to go. So I had bought a house for all my kids could stay in. If they got money and wanted a boyfriend, then they could move out. But at least I knew where they were at.
Yeah.
I couldn't live with that, like not knowing where they at.
That's not being a friend, though.
No, that's not being their friend. But some parents, that's their last resort. And
I get you.
They not listening to me. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. So I'm going to let me try to be like I'm a friend. And then as a friend, in that friend mode, they get along better with the child.
I just want to say something real quick.
Okay.
From a father's point of view and from me just growing up seeing a lot of stuff. So it's like you as the child, you're going to view it a certain way and not going to see anything wrong with it. But as the parent, just like if a grown ass man like me, if I was trying to holler at your granddaughter or something, that'd be a problem for you because we look at it like that adult knows better. That adult could manipulate that child. Also, in your case, it was just maybe, your case might have been different than a lot of other cases. But some cases, these older guys was getting these young girls, 15, 16.
Right.
They putting their ass out on the stroll. And
it was different with me.
Getting them on.
God, it was different from
like, we had to kill,
It was different. They go that way for me. It didn't go that way for me. But I know what you're talking about. Hello, caller.
Hello, how y'all doing?
Hi, fine, thank you.
Thanks for calling.
So I wanted to say that I hear a lot of feedback. That I think that parents are the first example of what a good friend should be.
A good friend?
Yes. I was my son's friend, but I also was a disciplinarian. I was his friend in the sense that I showed him support. I showed him how friends are supposed to treat you. So, not in the sense that we're doing things that are illicit or against the law or that is detrimental to your development.
Right.
So when we say that we aren't our children's friends, I disagree because we're the example of what and how friendship should be.
True.
And I agree. I agree that some people try to be their children's friends in a passive means to pacify the child, but children they need structure, and even if they buck against it, they want structure. They want somebody to tell them what and how to do things. It's how it's done. So That's just my 2 cents on the friendship.
And it is different levels how a parent try to be a friend to a child. You have some
Yeah.
parents that trying to be close to the child, get to know more, and they feel like being a friend to that child, they're gonna open up more to them because that child gonna feel like they're a friend. Still being a parent, putting rules in place, trying to build structure with that child and everything, but they feel that friend like when they feel like you're a friend like that, they could talk to you more. They can talk to you about certain things if they didn't feel you was a friend or you just strict all the time. I can't talk to you. I can't say nothing to you. In this mode, they feel like they can open up more to you.
I agree with
Trying
that,
to
but
build
that's
the
something that
dynamic.
starts from the beginning. Like you have that open door policy, and you talk to your children about things like you all were speaking about um, sexual assault and inappropriate touching. These are things that we talk about early on, and we don't wait until they get 15 to start implementing discipline.
Hold up.
Whether it, I mean,
I'm listening. I'm listening. I just had something to say to that.
go ahead.
Sometimes the kids, you can teach them that and talk to them that about that all their life when they was little, when they start off young, teaching them no to this, no to that. If anybody touch you here, anybody touch you there, and they still will not tell you. They're not
Yeah.
comfortable with telling you. They may tell a friend or auntie or a friend of the family before they tell you. I don't know why it works like that, but sometimes they still not comfortable with telling a parent that.
Well, I can tell you from experience that we people who have been sexually assaulted will tell a cousin or an aunt or somebody that they feel like they can talk to because they feel like they can talk to that person and that person might be a voice for them. And a lot of times people don't want the perpetrator to get in trouble, but they want them to stop because
And that's not
that's
gonna
just
happen because it's a sickness.
no. And as a child, you don't know that. But I'm just
As
telling
a
you from
child, yeah.
experience, that's the thought process of a victim. And also um you're victimized over and over again because when you do tell, sometimes the authorities don't take you serious or they
Exactly.
make you seem like you're lying
Yes.
and
Yes.
or they say, why didn't you tell? What people don't understand, like somebody mentioned murder earlier. Once you've been sexually assaulted, molested as a child, or raped, that happens over and you live with that for your life, for the rest of your life.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
victimized for the rest of your life. You have to live with that.
Yes.
So to go to someone to talk about it or let them know what's going on, I'm gonna tell you they may take it a little more serious now, but when it happened to me, it wasn't taken serious. A warrant was placed, and it wasn't until 12 years later that after this person had been in police custody several times, that somebody finally saw this and kept them locked up for it and wanted to take it to trial.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Did you first tell somebody you thought would protect you and they said they did not protect you and you had to go to someone else?
I wouldn't say that. I told my older cousin, but I also told her not to tell. And I then told because I had to talk about it.
Is it a
But then I
reason why you
told
didn't tell a parent?
no, she didn't.
No, why you didn't?
Why didn't I tell my parent?
Yes. Is it a
Because
reason?
I wasn't scared, but I didn't want the perpetrator to get in trouble. It was my uncle.
Right. And that's a
So,
lot of
but I wanted him to stop, and I told another young lady that I would visit with in the summertime would stay at with her and her dad for part of the summer, and she told her father, who in turn told my mother, and then so it was out, and it was like a big fallout, but and we went to the police. My mom took me to the police and stuff, but the police were very nasty. And I don't know if that's a tactic to see if you're telling the truth, but I vividly remember the woman detective behaving like I was lying.
That's crazy.
And like I said, 12 years later, then the prosecutor put the subpoena in my mailbox was the day before the court date. And I went to court and I talked to the prosecutor. He's like, well, we couldn't find him. And I'm like, he's been at this address. But I didn't pursue it because at the time I was going through some other things. And I asked, I said, are there any other cases against him? Has he, victimized anybody else? And they didn't have anything on file. So I dropped it.
No, that's sad.
Because life has, or the universe has taken care of them. But so it's a lot of variables to being sexually assaulted, and nobody can say how the victim should act or react to that.
Right. I'm sorry to hear that happened to you.
I'm sorry that happened to you, caller, and I'm glad that you have come out victorious.
Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry it happened too, but I will say that it has shaped who I am in a good way, and it also makes me able to understand and advocate and
Now, do you have children now?
I do.
And you
Well,
protective.
I have a adult. I wasn't overprotective. My son said that I was really strict, right? But I always talk to him about things. I never sugarcoated anything, and even now, like I'll talk to him about stuff because sexual assault is more prevalent than not, and it is, I believe, the root cause of a lot of the behaviors that we see day to day.
Sure, that's so true. I thank you, Carla, for giving us a call and sharing that with us.
You're welcome. Y'all have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
That was very enlightful.
Very.
Her call.
Yes, it was.
I mean, it helped clear it up. I don't know if it did for you, but for me, asked her, why didn't you say anything to your parent?
Right.
And she said, because I didn't want my uncle to get in trouble, but I wanted him to stop. So I don't know if that answers, that question for you.
I know I have even heard like people, they are adult with children and still having sex with people that they claim sexually abused them. Now it's difficult to have sympathy or anything for them when they are still having sex with this person and they are adults and they have children. They have a boyfriend, a man or whatever in the household, and you still having sex with this. Now I'm feeling like this is what you want. I don't know how I got to that point, but there are women out here like that.
It is.
And it's family members, like they family members and doing things like that.
Wow. Yeah, I don't understand that.
I don't understand either, but it happens.
It does.
It sounds like she's trapped.
They're not trapped.
No, I'm saying in her mind, she's trapped.
I don't know about that.
In some kind of mental state of mind that
maybe the mental illness, maybe they cross the line. I don't know.
That's what it is.
But that's
probably
things that go on for sure.
Yeah.
Well, anybody want to call in anything else? Anybody want to say?
I like what Rico said when he talked about how, a lot of these dudes are,
Oh, they playing
they
mind
getting
games
with
with the
these young
young.
girls, they pimping them out. And that's what's happening in the
That
case
was
of a lot of these girls coming
that
up
was
missing.
that was
Yeah.
my situation too. But I wasn't being pimped out or anything. I guess he might have really tried to care about me, but I didn't never go through no stuff like that.
Yeah.
We were together. Like we got 3 kids behind that. I never was like on the streets. He never tried to get me to use drugs, anything like that. It was just he was older and it was somebody I gravitated towards and I wanted to go be with him.
Still manipulated though.
It is. I was manipulated by him.
For things that the guys your age couldn't afford.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
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 So looking at all of that, like
Yeah.
my man got it going on.
That's like the fruit of knowledge of
Mhm.
good and evil, and that's what it was in the beginning in Genesis with the fruit. It was basically saying that fruit or whatever, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
was the tree of knowledge. So the tree of knowledge was basically just a form of losing the innocence. That's a metaphor for losing the innocence.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from that relationship. It made me the person I am today. I was young, but I'm never gonna say like he may have manipulated me, but I still say I was still in love with him. They could say I don't know what love was and nothing. We was together for a long time. I stayed with him. I mean, I had kids by him and everything.
Well, back in the day, they got married at that age.
I almost got married. It's a good thing I didn't.
You know, I mean, I was talking to an older lady, and I was asking her about her husband because she got married when she was 14.
My mother.
But she said back then, that's what happened. Her husband was 29 and she was 14.
Yeah, that's what they did.
Now that was back
down
in the day.
south.
That was back in the day. I keep saying R. Kelly days because he messed with so many young
not
people.
R. Kelly's days.
That was
in my day. It was. I felt like that because he was so much
but
older,
back in
and
the
I
50s,
didn't even think about the.
Yeah.
I didn't think about the
but the
high
50s
school guys at all.
A form of slavery, though.
It is.
Mindset.
What?
Because some people was giving their daughters up for cattle and land.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I was
form of pimping too.
It is, but I was about to bring that
back
up
in
now.
the 50s and the 60s.
She said back then, you got married at a young age to help your family.
Mm.
He had a job,
Mm-hmm.
so her father wanted her to get married because that was more income in the house.
Right.
But she said, he slapped her one day, and that was the last time he's ever slapped her. I said, well, how was you when he slapped you? She said, I was about 15. But she said, I went crazy because I never wanted that to happen again. But she said after that, he was okay.
Mm-hmm.
She never had any kids.
Mm-hmm.
She adopted some, but everything was okay. She ended up getting a job too, and they both got their own place and moved out.
Mm-hmm.
But the only reason why she got married is because her parents needed the help because he had a job.
My mother, I don't know. I feel like they said they was in love, but my mother had never worked all her life until we got grown. My father, like she tried to work a job. She worked it for so long, but all her life she never worked before. My father wouldn't let her work.
Yeah,
she stayed in the house with the kids.
One of the viewers said, "Society determines what is normal and abnormal."
Yeah,
that is so true.
It is.
That is so true. Because if you get enough people on the bandwagon and say, "Oh no, we're not following that. We're not following that way. That's not how it's gonna be," then everybody else gonna jump on that bandwagon. Okay, if they can give every reason why that way is not a good way, that do kind of make sense. Okay,
They do.
But I do be looking at like how young I was, and if my grandkids that was to be with somebody that at that age and have a child, know what I do?
You're trying to stop
it. Do because it's I know I did it, but I just feel like they don't have the I didn't have the knowledge.
The men
back
don't
then
even have the same focus that the men back then had.
Right.
In life. They
it just seemed crazy to me. Like I was how old? I can't believe I left home at that age. When I look at it now, like, dang, when I look at my grandkids, they like, it's over
The
their
same
head.
focus
you
or
As advanced
you
as
are
we
more
were.
mature then than they are now.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, because you
They're not
remind me of
mature
my
like
aunt.
that.
the same focus or level of respect.
One of my aunts.
You know, when
She was married when she was married when she was 22, but she also had 5 kids by her husband. I'm not gonna say no names because I want nobody to get mad.
It's fine. You don't have to say no names.
But he ended up dying, committing suicide, and left her with all the kids.
And that's what I say about the sexual abuse. I can't believe so many the members that I talk to is, and they state of mind is like they want to commit suicide. I couldn't believe it. I was just listening like, what?
But there is help.
And they've been saying it like,
yeah, there is help for
kill
people.
myself. I'll jump in the water. I'm gonna go downtown and jump. I'm like, what? Where this come from? But it's from tragedy that happened to them,
all that childhood trauma,
abuse, and everything.
Right.
There is help for those who
My uncle
have experienced any type of sexual abuse, mental abuse. If you go to our nonprofit page, Faith Community Outreach Inc., we have
resources.
We have multiple resources on the page, and they are free. If you want to speak to a counselor, we have plenty of them who are listed. You just look for the one in your area and just give them a call. The services are free. Give them a call. It's time to get help. It's time for you to stop going through this by yourself.
Right. They keep it to secret, especially the men. But Yolanda, you don't have nothing to say. She's still on here on live.
And men, they look at young girls now. They look at these young girls like these teenage girls because they so well developed.
Yeah.
They look at them like they're grown women.
Yes, they are.
It's sad.
Yeah, it's sad. Like, I mean, when does it stop?
The younger kids. It goes on.
These young kids, they like the attention that they receive.
Not from molestation.
I'm not saying all young kids, but like before, second floor.
The second.
It's an elevator. A lot of these young girls, like I told you the other day that I saw on Crimes in the D where all of these kids had went to the titty bar.
Oh yeah,
and the police had to go in.
They was downtown, and they was like,
it was in Southwest Detroit. It was in Southwest Detroit.
The parents had came up
there
to
was hanging
get
out
the
at
kids.
the titty bar. 14, 15, 16 years old. And people were saying, well, how did they even get in there? Because they had fake IDs.
They got money.
They got fake IDs. I'm sure.
For the ID. You got the money, you getting in.
Yeah. I used to have a cousin I used to take with me to the club.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yes,
you can get
until
in.
Her teacher was there that night, the particular night. And
the teacher told?
Yeah, he was like, I'm going to have this place shut down. Lafayette Lane. He said, I'm going to have this place shut down. And he said, you better be in class tomorrow on time.
And they still open, right?
Not you better be in class on time tomorrow.
He said, you better get, and then when he found out it was me, he was like, you are really, I said, well, I never expected anybody to be her school teacher to be here.
Right.
But her mom would let her go with me because, she knew wasn't nothing going to happen to her. But it was just,
a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, well, to my family, the ones that's upset and got an attitude about it, it's things that need to be talked about. A lot of the grown-ups are going through a lot, like to the point where they want to commit suicide. Things happen to them, and the parents keep trying to throw it up under the rug. And even some of my cousins, things happen to their children, and they don't know how to face or talk about that. But they know that it happened to them, and I don't know why they. Sometimes you can be so protective and stuff still go on.
Do y'all believe that it's different levels or different types of grooming?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's just like I'm just going to use a movie as an example that I know a lot of people probably seen. As far as The Color Purple,
Right.
as far as how Mister went to Celie and them father or whatever, and even the father was already having sex with the children and
Yes,
stuff too.
yes, yes.
But it's like Mister, he basically like I think his wife passed or something like that. So he had Celie there as somebody to watch the children.
Right.
So he was grooming her to be a housekeeper and to be a babysitter for his children. Now, it's the same thing like with a pimp. A pimp might be grooming somebody to go get that bag for them and put them out on the streets.
Right.
Then you got another person who's they call a predator, who's a groomer also. They might be grooming a woman like how they say R. Kelly was doing to do stuff with other women and they freaky fantasies and stuff. But it's like it's all a part of manipulation. It's like that's why they call it grooming. The same way how they feel like their minds are innocents and they're trying to shape and mold that person into what they want them to be.
Right.
Yeah,
It's still not right.
That's like you see a lot of, you see a lot of grooming that happens within the church, with a lot of these elders,
In the church.
Not to say that grown people can't be manipulated
in the
and stuff
church.
also, but I'm just saying when they have that innocent mind that hasn't been through or experienced, if you just coming straight from your household,
you haven't experienced out in the streets,
learn how to do certain things for yourself. Some of these young girls don't even know how to clean themselves right yet.
Exactly.
Right.
Not only that, they don't know how to run a household, take what it is to have a good household or whatever. They don't know a lot. There's a lot they don't know.
But you mentioned
and it's not just men though. You have some women out here who are who are groomers also.
Women too, yes. Yes, you do.
Women groom men or women might groom other women or something like that. But it's cases like that where women do stuff to the younger men or whatever also.
Yeah, but that's where it starts because a lot of times people think the church is a safe place.
Yeah.
But the church
all the demons going there. I ain't gonna say. Most of the people that's trying to say they souls and stuff like that, and they've been out here doing all kind of things. They try to turn up to the church.
How long we been on?
Hour 13 minutes.
Okay, well, that's time. Time for us to go. Just once again, the family that feels some type of way. It's not embarrassing. It's things that did happen, and people at this age are now want to talk about it. They already been traumatized and don't know how to handle it. Nobody's going to a therapist or anything like that. But once something was said, people want to come out and speak about it or talk about it. I can't believe in my own self. But I mean, if they want to talk about it, they got to start to talk about it.
So are you extending an invitation to your
I'm extending to my family whoever wanted to come on and talk about it. They think it's embarrassing, but a lot of the people that it happened to, they're not embarrassed about it.
Maybe they just want. Maybe they want to have like a family group.
No, we're not having a family group chat. No. That ain't finna happen.
You would want them to come on the show and talk about it?
Some people, no. Let me just. We just saying.
No, I'm just saying
that a lot of things happened in the family that was traumatizing. We're not the only family like that. There's so many families. People been calling me,
every family,
talking to me about stuff that happened to them. All that. I'm not embarrassed to speak about what's been going on. So I don't know what's going on with everybody else, but it's not an embarrassing subject to me. So I mean, that's all I want to say. No invites or nothing.
Do you do you think it's not embarrassing because it's never happened to you? Do you think that if it happened to you, do you think it's something that you would be able to just speak out about?
You know what? I think we had one of my friends on here and she had talked about what had happened to her. So she went through a situation and she was penetrated. So I don't know. Maybe is it different from somebody penetrating you and touching, or it may be more traumatizing.
I believe so.
Because I had a situation, but it was in a penetration. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I was talked about it, but I did experience like someone telling me like don't say nothing about it. But it wasn't like I was going through for years and a penetration, experiencing that, and a parent constantly telling you to go with this person, and this person is constantly doing you like that. But I heard about it from my family that they were being done like that.
Wow.
And they lived there with the abusers. So a lot was going on, but I didn't live there. I was at home, my parents. We may visit, but I can't even say what may have happened to my brothers. They, now I start thinking about things I would have never thought about without bringing this subject up because of the conversations that I had with them and some of my cousins that called me and talk about things. So I didn't even know that was going on. So maybe my father used to protect us, like, don't go over there. I don't want my kids over there, this and that.
You know, the thing about it with my father is if anything happened to one of us, we were scared to tell him because we knew he was going to prison. We didn't want our dad to go to prison. We couldn't even tell him the school teachers because it was just, all he meant because he had
her
5
dad
girls
closed
and one
the whole
boy.
gas station down one time because the sister.
The gas station owner on Schaefer and Puritan called my sister a black bee. And when I tell you her grandmother and my father closed that place down, yes, ma'am.
They went to crack houses and closed them down.
They would go every day until they would go every day to them crack houses and wouldn't.
My grandma was a preacher.
Yeah, and my father just a
Muslim.
But he it was too many in his mind. It was too many young people on drugs because of all these crack houses came up in the neighborhood, so they shut them down.
And most of the
my
people,
grandma would go to the crack house.
Most of the people that's being sexually, most of the kids and everything that's being sexually abused, the abuser had it done to them. Learned behavior. And nobody's saying nothing. Nobody trying to get that person help or anything. It's just constantly going on and going down the family, going down the line more and more.
I feel to see like that situation with me when I was 21 years old, and I see that guy.
Oh yeah. Oh, he was a known because my cousin had a situation with him.
Wow.
He was known.
Whoa.
When I see him,
and I be like, calm down.
Triggered.
Like, that's him.
If somebody
You want to fight?
Yes.
And
he's
very known.
He's very known. He's very known. And that situation, he does that all the time.
Wow.
One of the viewers said, being silenced when you want to speak about gives the perpetrator power.
Exactly.
She right. Whoever wrote that is right.
Yeah.
Well, y'all.
Well, we would like to thank everybody
that joined in.
Thank you for being our co-host, all of the viewers, all of the participants who called in. Thank you, Felicita, for allowing us to share this platform with you. Felicita Taylor, she's our host. I am June, your co-host. This is Sandy, another co-host. And we have another guest who is not on camera. But Ann, thank you so much for being another co-host. And until then, don't forget, we do have a nonprofit organization. It's called Faith Community Outreach, Inc. Please go follow us on Facebook. We have many resources available for people. If you don't need the resources, share them with somebody who can use them. Felicita has a ladies' boutique. She does have some things in there for men. Her boutique is located at 11,000 West McNichols, Suite 109.
The Mirror Building on the corner.
It's the Mirror Building on the corner of McNichols and Meyer. She's got some beautiful things in here for the ladies, so come in and check her out. Until then, you all have a safe night. And it's going to freeze tonight, so y'all.
Oh, it's going to freeze
stay warm.
Tonight?
Yep.
Well, I ain't got to go to work tomorrow, so I'm good.
Okay. And we would like to thank Rico. Our wonderful patient engineer who always helps us out and does a good job.
We appreciate you.
Thank you, Rico.
Yeah.
Until then, good night, everybody.
Good night. Who you talking to?
DETRoiT, who you talking to?